Hello everyone, I'm Brock, the Curly Man behind Curly Man's Comics, and today I'm going to be going through my list of Boom comics that I think might be coming to Netflix. Before I jump into this, I want to ask you guys to like, subscribe, drop a comment on a comic that you think might be going to Netflix soon. But before I dive too much into this, I want to tell you guys that I would not consider myself a speculation buyer. And how I see speculation is buy the comics that you love. If one of these comics really sparks your interest and it's something you're interested in getting, and it's something that you also want to speculate on a bit, buy two of them. If it's a comic that you wouldn't mind having two of them if nothing happens with it, go ahead and do that. And if it does blow up and you decide to sell the one other copy and keep one for yourself, that's more power to you. Buy more comics that you enjoy. So I don't want to bother you guys talking about how I've purchased comics for too much longer, so let's get into my list of Boom comics that might be coming to Netflix soon. Now I know this is a list of only the top 5 Boom comics that I see coming to Netflix possibly soon, but I need to throw in some honorable mentions, and that's just because Boom keeps coming out with more and more comics that would be great for Netflix. There's one coming out called 7 Secrets, about these people protecting the 7 secrets of the world from a bad organization. On top of that, Jim Henson has multiple comics coming out. They kind of all have their own little story. They're almost like little folk tales. There's some longer runs. I'm a little off on this one. I don't know if Netflix really does any anthology series. It doesn't seem like something that would draw to them too much, but it's something to still check out, especially for the longer runs of those comics. Alright, at number 5 I have Tinion's Something is Killing the Children. And basically this story follows all these children in a town that keep disappearing. And they're saying it's monsters taking these children. And then this badass chick comes in and she's like, I'm a monster hunter and I'm gonna kill all these monsters. Definitely an interesting kind of like teen drama thing, which always seems to hit very well on Netflix. Stranger Things is a great example. So this is definitely one I would check out. But I want to mention that Tinian has a ton of different Boom comics. One of them being The Woods, where these children and their school is all transported to this different land where there's monsters they have to fight, mystical powers, they have to try and figure out how to survive, how to live, possibly how to get back home. There's another story that Tinian is putting out soon called The Wind, which follows this kid that has a magical heritage in this town, and basically he's not allowed to be there. People discover that he's there, they kick him out, and he goes on this big quest. It's not out yet, but it's one that people are definitely specking on being a huge hit. So it's definitely something I would look forward to. Alright, so at number 4 I have Matt Kint's Grass Kings. And Matt Kint is another huge writer for Boom. And this story follows this group of people that basically live out in the middle of nowhere, but everyone wants to mess with them. The neighboring town police force wants to take them over. They believe that there's a serial killer in their midst. It's really a story about what it is to be human, about these people developing, great character development, one of my favorite artists. There's been spec on this comic for a long time, and I think now that Boom has made a deal with Netflix, it's one that you should be looking forward to. At number 3 I have Lumberjanes, and I would say this is Boom's probably most successful and longest running comic, and it follows this group of scout girls that basically are fighting supernatural beasts with 3 eyes. They're trying to figure out why all this stuff is occurring. It's definitely like a teen thing. It kind of reminds me a lot of Bone, which is another great series, not by Boom obviously, but it's just kind of this mystical childhood story. I could definitely see it coming to Netflix, but there's another scout story that I think might be a little more likely to come to Netflix that I'll mention later. At number 2 I have Bone Parish, and this is a comic that's really being spec'd on. And what's going on in this story is there's this new drug that's coming to the market, and essentially it's crushed up human bones. And it's giving people these really weird trips. There's going to be like gang wars going on trying to possess this drug, to run this drug. Definitely an interesting comic. It wasn't necessarily my cup of tea. It got a little wordy and drawn out for me in my opinion, but if you're interested in following this really deep, in-depth story, I would definitely check out Bone Parish. At number 1 I have Black Badge, and this story basically follows the scout group Black Badge and their adventures in the world, but these are really intense adventures. They're blowing up buildings, they're doing mafia hit sort of stuff. It's really intense. There's multiple different groups that are also doing the same things, some of them more evil than the other ones, and basically this scout group is trying to figure out the world, trying to figure out if they're doing the right thing. There's a lot of twists and turns, character development. It's a lot like a Stranger Things meets Boy Scouts meets worldly destruction. Really interesting story. By far one of my favorite endings in a comic. It didn't have me caught up for quite a while, but things start to really pick up throughout this series with a really perfect twist ending that I didn't see coming at all. It's basically almost assured that this is gonna be a TV show, and with Boom Studios making a deal with Netflix, I would imagine it's gonna be on Netflix. And this is because someone tweeted out at the writer, Matt Kint, and basically said, is there gonna be a Black Badge TV or film? And Matt Kint replied, I think we're just waiting for an official announcement. So that's kind of got it in the bag. You know what's coming out. This is one that I'm definitely looking at buying. I don't have it yet. Really enjoyed the series. I want to have the first issue just to put up on my wall. As I mentioned, buy the comics that you love. And that's my list of my top 5-ish Boom comics that might be coming to Netflix sometime soon. If you like this video, or if you want to check out my other videos, I want to ask you guys to like, subscribe, check out the other videos, comment on this video, comics that you think I might have missed coming to Boom, because I'm a huge comic guy. I'd love to check out and read these comics. But as always, I'm Brock, the Curly Man behind Curly Man's Comics, signing out.